Yo, what's up? Welcome to Insider Trading with your host, Noble Woods. This is, I'm going to say it, just the world's best investing, trading, live, interactive, walk you through the market show podcast. I can do stuff that they literally can't even do on television. Primarily, I can interact with you. You can type in a question in the comments. You can type in a stock that you want me to take a look at. Anything. This internet, this technology is amazing, man. Lets us do all kind of stuff that we really didn't have until COVID, honestly. So, thanks for joining. I had some technical difficulties this morning. I was supposed to get going way earlier. I'm gonna still do it. It's 1:20. So whoever you are, thanks for joining. Welcome to the show. Type in the comments where you from, where you watching me from. It's live interaction. So if you got a stock you want to look at, you can type that in now. I'll take a look at it. I'll analyze it. I'll tell you what I see. Using my tools that I've been using for years. So I just want to help. Just want to help you make some more money, see things clearer. That's all. I got somebody watching from ATL. That's where I'm at. I'm at home. So what up? Whoever typed in ATL. I'm gonna keep this one. Normally these go for, I kind of do these. I'll go for a good hour and a half. Today's gonna be a bit more concise. Kind of working on getting my timing down. More impact, more effectiveness. So we're gonna flow right into it. So here's what I'm gonna do today. I got some notes. Oh my God, what up, Court? He said no hat today. Bro, you already know. I forgot. I appreciate that, man. Look at that, man. You like my executive producer. I forgot all about the Bulls hats. Bulls or Bears. For those that don't know, why do I always wear a Bull or a Bears hat? All right. You know those two teams, NBA, NFL team for Chicago. I'm from Gary, Indiana. Shout out to anybody who's from the Midwest. But some of the earlier markets, and there's still a lot of active trading that comes out of Chicago. You got brokers like Infinity Futures. Thinkorswim is their corporate offices there in Chicago. So Chicago and the stock market. I know we always think about New York, but Chicago has some deep ties to the stock market. And this concept of bulls and bears is so big in the stock market as the two positions you can have. You can believe the stock is going up, or you can believe it's coming down. You can be bullish, up, bearish, believe the stock is coming down. It's so freaking important to the market in Chicago that they literally named their NFL and NBA teams after the stock market, Bulls and Bears. Right? The stock market didn't get that from Chicago. Chicago got that from the stock market. So that's why I'm always rocking a Bulls or Bears hat. Appreciate that, bro. My hat was sitting right here. I got like 30 of these hats. Like I literally got like every color. You can probably, I got a lot. I got some variation. So anyway, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna look at Nasdaq. If you follow me, which you should, because I'm trying to help y'all make some money and see things clearly, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Being Noble, Being B-I-N-G, Being Noble. If you go back to December and watch all my videos, you'll be like, man, this brother been telling us exactly what's coming. Not because I got some magic ball, crystal ball, not because I know what's coming in the future. No. Because I know how to read price action. What the hell is price action? The hell is price action? The simple way to think about it, make sure my camera is clear. Yeah, I love this second angle. Let's see. Christopher John said, been waiting. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, bro. Had some little technical difficulties earlier. Getting my mic, some stuff just wasn't connecting. I don't know. I just got back home like last week. So this is my first live since I've been back home. But yeah, price action is essentially, think about it. It's price fluctuations Apple, cryptocurrencies, the stock market, the futures market, foreign exchange. Price action is this term that simply means if we pull up a chart, right? If I pull up a chart, what the heck am I looking at? What are bulls thinking? What are bears thinking? Where should I buy? Which direction should I go? Where do I place my stop loss? Where do I know I'm wrong? What's the trend direction? Is the market reversing? Is it bullish right now? Is it bearish? Right? Price action answers all these questions. It's literally not, it's using mathematical tools to analyze the charts and be able to, I think, with some clarity, be able to say what is the trend direction. Right. And it's how traders like me build strategies based on price action. I just want to go with the trend. Everything going down, I want to go down too. I want to short the market. Everything's falling. Let's say everything's going up. We in a good market. I should be buying. You should be buying. So I'm gonna start with Nasdaq. We're gonna talk about Nasdaq and what's happening right now. I'm gonna go back just a little bit. I want to show you how this period right now is really, I think, critical. We're in an interesting period. It's gonna be super. I can't wait to see where we're gonna go from here because we're gonna go up or down, and depending on which way we go, that's gonna mean a lot for your money, your long-term investments, and your trading. Right. So I'm gonna start there. I want to actually pull up a stock that I had a really good question in insider trading. If you're not familiar with insider trading, it's actually a group my cousin and myself started about 10 years ago. It's on Facebook. You might be watching this on Facebook or YouTube. If you want to join our community, it's Insider Trading. Just go to Facebook, type in Insider Trading. You'll see the gold bars, it'll pop up. Click the button, request to join. It's free to join, it's not a private group. But we do this all the time. A lot of free teaching. Just great community, a lot of people trading, making money, a lot of different stuff. You know, it keeps me abreast of everything that's happening because there's so many people in the room. I always know what's, even if I didn't have to, check, check any specific stocks or anything. Just by being in the room, you can learn. You can make some money. You can start to be right. Start to make this a part of the culture. You can like join this culture because investing is a culture. Trading is a culture. Same way hip hop is a culture. Some people ain't a part of it. Some people don't speak the language. They don't understand hip hop. Investing and trading is a language too. So yeah, I'm gonna start with Nasdaq. We're gonna hit. I want to talk about price and value real quick. I want to. My gem for the week was pivots. I want to show you pivots. I want to give you pop up a few charts. I want to show you why they're so amazing. Why you need to put pivots on your chart. If you're trying to day trade and don't understand pivots, you don't have pivots on your chart. You're just making this hard. You're making this hard. You're making this hard. And then we're gonna end with a real quick look at what's coming next. What I think is coming next. So let's get it going. Let me pull up Nasdaq real quick. Let me pull up good old Nasdaq. Take this down. Where we at? Okay. So real quick, Nasdaq is it's an index. Um, I know what it stands for, but I can't remember the whole acronym. NASDAQ. The ticker symbol, right? If you wanted to actually invest in Nasdaq, it's QQQ. It's known as the Qs. It's what like the trader folks call it, the Qs. If I ever say, "Yo, what's up with the Qs?" I'm really saying, "What's up with Nasdaq?" That's a ticker symbol. It's how you find it if you want to invest in it or find some information on it, right? What is Nasdaq though? Hands down, it's potentially the best, simplest, easiest investment tool over the last 20 years. Almost nothing beats it over the last 10, 15 to 20. We start talking 10, 15, 20 years, just buying some every month, relaxing, easy. Almost nothing beats NASDAQ. There are thousands upon thousands of funds out there. Most of them cannot beat the S&P, and NASDAQ has better performance than NASDAQ. NASDAQ has better performance than S&P, right? So it's 100 stocks. It's the Teslas, Apple, Google, Microsoft. What else? It's Nvidia, Adobe. Mostly tech stocks. Leans heavy into tech, and tech has had the best, biggest performance, best returns over the last 20 years. Right? If I was teaching my kids, And this is where I teach my kids and adults. Right? What do I call it? I call Nasdaq. It's like the All-Star team. All right, it's the All-Star team. You can bet on one player. Yeah, you can pick. There's 10,000. There's like 10,000 stocks. You can pick a few players and think you're really good at picking stocks as an investor. True, but honestly, most people are terrible at picking stocks, and you don't really know if you're a good investor unless you do it for at least like 10 to 15 years. Right? You need time. Time is where investing comes from. And most people, right? Most people don't understand, can't walk you through a balance sheet, really get into the deeper fundamental and technical aspect of what makes a company a quality, good company. Right. So Nasdaq for me is just it's amazing. It's 100 of the best stocks in the world. One of those stocks gets a little whack, they throw it out, they bring new ones in. Like they kind of manage it for you. Yeah. So as a broad market index, I love to analyze and start here with Nasdaq because if Nasdaq is down, the whole world is down. If Nasdaq is up, generally speaking, every good company should be up. Right. So once again, broad market index, all-star team, best create. It's a portfolio created for you already. That's all it is. All right. So that's in QQQ. So let's look here. Go to the charts. I got to show you. So if you guys don't know how to read charts, right, it's part of the language. I told y'all investing is a culture. If right now you're like, man, I have no idea what the hell all of this is, it means you're not a part of the culture. I'm trying to bring you into the culture. So I'm gonna keep this real simple. If these candles, these are candlesticks. If these candles, I'm gonna just cover it real quick. They're hollow, that means price pushed up in that candle. All right. If they're colored like this, if they're right colored in, then that means that price is down. Right. So if we go back here to this period, this was all December. All December. And what was price doing? Nasdaq. We dropped. We ran down to this 20 period moving average. It's like the literally it's like the equator, it's like the average. Stock is above its 20, it's above average. We go below the 20, we go below average. Generally, that's when we start a bullish trend or it's a really deep pullback. Right. So for these are week charts. Right? So each one of these candles is a week. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost like 10, 11 weeks. Right. We just ranged inside of here. NASDAQ didn't go anywhere. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Almost like 11 months. 11 weeks. Right. When ranges like that happen, they happen on 5-minute intraday, they happen on month charts. Some stocks do this over years. You'll have this on hour. It's a classic setup. Classic. Why? It means that price is stuck, which really means that bulls nor bears, nobody really is being very aggressive. So we're not going anywhere. Right. This is when the Christmas rally was supposed to happen. We were waiting on this Christmas rally, this jump in price. Like post Christmas, leading up to Christmas, market was supposed to go up. It didn't happen. All right. So we had a classic breakout. What is a breakout? It's just when you literally draw the box over this range, right? And you start to see this range, at least by the 7th or 8th week, you should have been like, hey, we're in a range. We finally came out of that range. Strong, very strong right here. Right. We came out of that range. What does that mean? We come out of a range. Generally, it doesn't mean that price is about to turn into a downtrend. It just means that we're now out of that range. So we made a decision. And the decision was not to go higher, it was to go lower. These two moving averages cross. This is an 8-period moving average and a 21. They just kind of help me to see things clearly. They cross. Price comes under. Things are bearish. I got a TTM squeeze down here. It just helps you with volatility. This thing turns red. You should be careful. All right. So we've experienced some January's, since January to now, the market's been down. It's been down. All right. This week right here, when we firmly came out, we broke out of that range. What happened? This was January 17th, the week of January 17th. All right. And since then, what happened? Ran up to touch the 8, tested the 8 here, kind of got close there. These two, we just been pushing down. All right. So we've had, this is fundamentally, right? Since January, we've been in a bearish market. Now, what does that mean? So here's the crazy part. The last time we actually had any of these little red bars down here on this indicator, which I love, is such an important indicator, was during COVID. Right. I want to show you something real quick. Look what happened after COVID. Right here, when this little candle closed above this blue line, that's a good sign that the market is trying to reverse. It doesn't mean we're in an uptrend. It just means we're trying to reverse. We're getting a lot of buyers. A lot of buyers are coming into the market saying, yeah, I like Nasdaq. I'm still with it. I think COVID was just right. We started buying again. It's a sign of a reversal. Right? We got above the 20, and we pretty much stayed above the 20. Like, the market was bullish. I mean, look how long the market gave you to be able to make some money. This was almost like 2 years. Literally from 4-6, is that April of 2020? We didn't have this candle that was the big, oh no, we're going back down. It's not looking good until January 17th of 2022. So we literally almost had 2 years of a very, very incredibly bullish, honestly, easy to make money time if you would have just known to look at Nasdaq and what to look at. Right. So we're not in a bullish market right now. We actually just tested this 20. And what did I just say a few minutes ago? I said, if we're under the 20, that's below average. Generally speaking, downtrend. Right? If you literally kept it that simple, if price is above this yellow line, you should be bullish. Price is below, and we're developing a trend under that, which we are and have been all this year. Market's bearish. So we pushed up. We had a few right in here. We had that same candle. Same little candle, same week, closed above this 8-period moving average, and we ran up to test this 20. Right, we got right in here to test this price area 370. Did not have enough buyers to push us through. When we don't have enough buyers, market can't really do too much, but markets can only do 3 things. We can range and go sideways, which is like people just being kind of paralyzed. Oh, I don't know. You gonna buy? No, you gonna short? No, I don't know. I don't know. Or we going up or we're down. That's it. We can go sideways, and we only go sideways because we're deciding whether we're going to go up or down. All right. That's it. Price can only do 3 things. All right. I got Marco said, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, bro. Happy Saturday, man. Good to see you. Corey said, yo, yeah, bro, you're a legend. I'm a huge fan. No, man, that's you. That's you. I'm gonna stand my humble bag. I know a little bit. I see you though. We gotta talk too. Andre Swanson said, yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, bro? He said, what's happening? Oh man, you know what it is. You already know what it is. Breaking down the market. So let me get back to Nasdaq. So fundamentally, right now, and here's the thing, I'm gonna get a little advanced just for a second. This is the week chart. The week is bearish. But if I flip to the month chart, the month isn't bearish yet. Right? So what does that mean? What does that mean, Noble? You said the week was bearish, so I should be shorting. I should be buying puts and not well, depending on what time frame we talk about. All right. The week is down, but the month is up. How is that possible? Because as you get you get into this world, you start getting a little bit more advanced, you'll realize, depending on the time frame you trade, investing long term, years, as an investor, I'm always bullish. As an investor, you're fundamentally always bullish. You're always believing the market is going to go up. Why? Because over the last 120 years, that's what the market has done. Because millions of people go to work to create value. Nobody goes to work to bring the company down to make less money. Right. So by the design of just value itself, what is value? The reason you go to work, the reason you got a skill set, the reason you feel good about whatever your craft is, like thousands, all these companies, this whole thing is designed around value, more value, creating more value, solving problems, innovation. Right. So the market, as a long-term investor, you're bullish. I'm bullish. Always, always, always. Even when recessions happen, I'm still bullish. Why? Because the best returns in the stock market happen 3 to 4 years after the biggest dips. That's a statistic you should know. 3 to 4 years after the worst times, we have the best times, which means that the worst times are actually the best times to invest. right? The worst times are the best times. It's so counterintuitive. Right. So I'm gonna bring it back to the week chart. We tested the we tested this price area 370. We also just ran up to hit the 20. This little candle, peep this out real quick. Let me show y'all something. Let me dig in just for a second. And this is why I'm constantly telling people, don't just look at day charts. Don't just look at the day. Look at the week. Look at the week. It takes you 2 seconds. People be acting like it's hard. Like your brain can't look at a week and then kind of analyze and see and say, okay, and then go to a day. All right, a lot of people preaching, telling y'all to be so simple, keep it simple. And what they really telling you is they don't have the type of depth that actually matters. You think people trading billions of dollars are only looking at one time frame? You got to be crazy. You got to be crazy. What's my point? Here's my point. This little candle right here during this range, this was a signal that if we broke the low of that candle, we probably were going high probability of us going lower. This candle literally started this really bad 4-week period. Right. And what did we just get? We got another candle. It's not exactly the same. This one is technically is called a gravestone doji for my super traders. This is just it's a top and tail hammer. There's a couple different names for it. All it means is that during this week, price pushed all the way up, and in the same week, we had 2 or 3 bad days, and we came all the way back down. Ooh, if we break the low of that candle, not a good sign. Price probably going lower. Last week we went lower. We crossed back under the 8. We're now back inside of this week candle. This was the week. This was the week everybody said, man, okay, we're finally about to get out of this bearish market. That was the week. We're now back inside of that week. If we take that week out, meaning price gets under that week, some of y'all gonna be hurting. And you're not gonna understand why your portfolio's down. And you're gonna be like, man, I thought the market was up. I thought what's happening? We're in a bearish market. In a bearish market right now. Week to week. It's easier to guess based on price action, these statistical mathematical tools, that price is going to come down. In the short term, it's going to come down before it goes up. That's all. That's all. That's all. Let's hop over to the VIX for a second. What the hell is the VIX? This is the volatility index. Volatility index. So check this out. See these spikes? These circles that I got drawn on my chart? When the VIX spikes, what this is it's measuring 30 days out S&P futures, S&P options contracts. So here's how the game works. If you got some real money, 6-7 figure account, really, let's say 7-figure account, 7 to 8 figure, 7, 8, 9 figure account, right? Or you're managing, billions of dollars at a hedge fund. Hedge fund. We know all investors are long term, so we all want to stay in Apple and Tesla. You don't want to take every time the market starts to come down. You don't want to empty and get out of all of your long term shares. No, this is where hedging comes into place, right? So, what is hedging? Hedging is making a short term bet to kind of take some of that risk off the table. Another way to say it is you want to make some money to the downside to level, right, to kind of take the brunt out of some of that loss that you're going to take on your long term stuff, right? So when markets get real shaky and scary or things happen that we don't understand, like COVID, if I go back to COVID, where did COVID happen? All right, and I'm gonna put this on a month chart real quick, just so you can see it a little bit better. This was COVID. COVID spiked the VIX way up here to 85. The last time we got a spike like that was way back here, which was October of 08. All right, so when the VIX goes super crazy high, the market goes low. Which means if it's a good stock, if it's an index, if it's the right thing, when the VIX goes high, probably a great chance to buy. High and buy. I don't know. It's rhymey. You've seen a million memes that have said that anyway, right? So recently, now we haven't had the VIX going that high. We haven't been going up to 85, right? But if I put this back on the week chart, oh, and I didn't say also what the VIX is actually measuring is 30 days forward-looking S&P options contracts. So that's where a lot of people are hedging their bets, right? So let's say you owned $200,000 worth of Apple, and the market is right. It's looking a little crazy. It looks like it's about to come down. You don't want, that's some money, right? If 200,000, if Apple pulls back 20%, right? You just saw your $200,000 worth of Apple. What is that? 10% is 20,000. So 20, you just saw $40,000 evaporate. Your account went from your just your Apple. Like pretend you got some real money for a second. Just your Apple went from 200,000 to 160. If you did nothing. If you knew how to hedge your bet, then you would buy some puts when the market gets real bad, stuff starts to turn around, you're checking the charts. You'd have bought some puts, kind of betting, right? It's kind of making some money when we drop. So if we do drop, cool. If we don't, okay, great. Because that trade is really just to offset the losses and kind of make some money in this little short-term downtrend, because you don't want to get out of your long-term stuff. And too many of y'all don't really know whether you're investing or trading. Every time the market drops, you ready to empty your whole portfolio or put your whole portfolio back in the market. It's crazy. It's crazy. I see it happening all the time. I talk to people who whole portfolio. I'm like, yo, there's investor you and there's trader you. Investor, you should always be bullish. The market is still up. Trader, you, if you know how to trade, then you need the technical skills, the discipline, the community, the mentorship, the emotional maturity, the timing. Right? Trading's hard. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Everybody be trying to act like trading's so easy. Psh, please. This is one of the most sophisticated, complex things you will ever attempt to do in your life. Because other jobs, right? And I look at trading as like a profession, a job, a business, right? Think about it. Other jobs, you could be an okay engineer, brand manager. Brand manager, bank manager. You could be like not the best of the best in the industry. You could just have a boss that loves you and be in that company and thrive for years and really just low key be mediocre. You can't be a mediocre trader and survive. The only way as a trader you continue to survive is you have to actually be good, which means you have to actually make money. You have to actually be growing your account. It's different. It's so different than any other profession or thing I've attempted to do in my life. And I love it because it forces you to become a really honest person. That's all. I think traders are some of the most honest people in the world. Because we have to be. At the end of the day, I either made money or lost money. I could give myself a million reasons. I either made money or lost money. On your job, though, you don't have a hard line in the sand like that. You're going to get paid even if you're not a great employee until they slowly get you out of there. And some companies are so damn nice. I used to work at Bank of America on the retail side, consumer side. It was a whole process to get whack bank managers out of there. Personal bankers not doing their, not hitting the quarterly metrics. It takes a while to like push somebody out. Trading's gonna push you out as soon as you start to not be able to make money. It's gonna push you out fast. It's brutal, man. It doesn't care about you at all. It doesn't. It doesn't. That's why I love it. I love it. So when we had these spikes on the VIX, these spikes are times where the market is unstable. People are buying. There's a spike in the fear, right? They call this the fear gauge. When this thing spikes up to 32, 36, anything really over like 32, I would say. 32 is like, yeah, volatile. And it's volatile because once again, there's something that's happening that's making the market uncertain. Investors, right? Those wealthy, ultra wealthy clients and people, right? They're not just about to sit in this market and watch 20, 35% of their, no, it's time to hedge. Right. We're gonna make some money on this short-term downtrend, right? To offset the losses in the longer term. So when we spiked up here, I could literally put these circles here and then go over to Nasdaq. So check this out. 124, 221. Right? 124 right here. 221 right here. When the VIX spikes, I can prove it to you. 124, 221. I'm gonna go back to Nasdaq. No, actually, I'm gonna go to S&P. That's really what it's directly correlated to. Look at that 21 was right here. 221 was right here. 124 was right here. So when the VIX spiked, popped up really high, we made a bottom and then we pushed back up. But we pushed up to this 20. We could not get through it. Price came right back down because we're in a downtrend. And some of y'all just do not understand the difference between downtrend and uptrend. I'm sorry. Right now, the short-term direction is down. It's down. Even when the VIX spiked here on 221, what happened? Really strong wick, hammer candle. That's a long wick. That's a hammer too right here. This candle right here, long hammer. Took us a few weeks to get out of there. We got here, got above that 8, ran right to the 20, tested this same area, 460, 458 on the S&P. Could not go any higher, and we're fading again. Right? So make sure you know about the VIX. You should be tracking the VIX week to week, kind of keeping abreast of, where the VIX is. It definitely helps. Huge help because of what it's measuring. It's measuring, once again, wealthy, ultra wealthy, 30 days out. It's 30 days out contracts on the S&P, which is it's the main index that everybody pays attention to. I like Nasdaq because I want you to invest in Nasdaq over the S&P because you're going to make more money. That's all. You're going to make more money, right? So that's that. Oh, I got a few questions. Somebody said, I got a question. Okay, you got a question. What's the question? So when the market closes for the day, what's the first thing you look to set up for tomorrow? Great question, but I'm not going to lie. Are you talking options trading, Noble, swing trader, investor? Investor, I don't care about tomorrow. One day ain't going to matter. So I do nothing as an investor. I don't care about the next day, right? Because I know wealth, the long money is built over years and not days, right? So investor me, I don't care. I really don't. Not really, right? If we're talking swing trader, then that's a different, more nuanced conversation. And then if we're talking day trader me, let's have some fun. Let me do this real quick. Hold on. Let's bounce around for a second. Oh, I gotta take all this stuff off. Hey, hold on. Let me take all this off real quick. Remove all of this. Oh, this is great. This will lead me. This will take me into where I want to go. This will take me to where I want to go. Cool. I'm gonna go to a 30-minute chart. I'm gonna go to Friday. Friday 30-minute chart. If I'm a futures day trader, which I am, right? This dark area here is where the market opened. In fact, let me make sure y'all can see that. Okay, yeah, you can. All right, so this was 9:30. Let me put some information on the chart. I'm gonna just put the open. Open right there, 9:30. And this was the close. Right. You had that gray after hours pre-market. So let's go back here. If I had to go back here right before the market opened, I'm starting my analysis as a day trader from what's happening live, real time, right as I'm about to trade. So a ton of different things could have happened overnight. Look at this. Let's look back. Look at this night. Right, and this is the ES, which is the S&P futures. It's the S&P. It's really the real S&P that people like. The big money actually is buying. They're not buying ETFs. They're buying futures contracts. But this is the S&P that really leads the stock. So I know that might be confusing. Don't worry about it. This is the S&P. That's all. It's the futures version of the S&P. All right. If you can't afford this, you got to buy the ETF. Right? So the prices are totally different. This is the big fast money. You can make thousands, lose thousands, tens of thousands, lost or made every day. Right? With futures. Different league, right? So check this out. This day, I'm gonna just draw some lines. Market closed here. We went up, made a new high, kind of went down. All right, nothing amazing. Let's look back a little bit, right? And my point to show you is at the end of the day, the market can change direction before we get to the next morning, right? Like we don't close and nothing happens. No, the futures market is moving because this is Europe trading. This is Frankfurt. This is Germany. Right? This is the European markets that open around 2, 3 in the morning. Right. This is a global market. It ain't just America. This ain't just America. Matter of fact, at 6 is when Japan opens. All right. So you got this period in here, which is like Japan. And then you got this period in here, which is basically Europe. And then you got this period right here, which is America. All right, we have an overlapping. All right, so you talking now we starting to expand a bit. We talking about global market cap of the world, like all the stocks, everything, right? So just because like at the end of the day we're down or up, I have no idea. Generally speaking, as a futures day trader, we could totally during the night, because Europe has to still do their thing and Japan has to do their thing. Price could be the trend could literally change overnight. And I think a lot of people probably don't know that. All right. Look at this day. Peep that. Close down here. Price dropped. Let me put my line. Price down here dropped at the end of the day. All right. So Europe was down. I mean, Japan had a down session. Then Europe pushed up. We had a report at 8:30 that pushed our market up. And then we pretty much reversed and then came all the way back down to these same lows that Europe made. All right. So day traders, totally different level of what you're looking at, right? I'm actually doing my analysis fresh. I got to pay attention to what Europe did and what happened with Japan. And then really at the end of the day, right before the market opens, because all I really care about is the trend right now. The trend was down. Squeeze is red, under the 8, under the 21. But then we pushed up. Look at that. Friday, we pushed up right at the end of the day. And I said, you know what? I was like, yeah, well, we got a high up here to run to. So probably about to run to that high. What happened? Ran right to that high perfectly. All right. And then if I kind of extrapolate, expand this out, we just reversed back down into the downtrend. We pushed up to hit the 8, drop, pushed up, tried to hit the 20, dropped again at the end of the day. All right. What I wanted to show you guys. Oh, I got a ton of questions. So let me slow down. Because I'll tend to get a question in my head and like want to show how I answer the question. But then you might be writing more stuff as I'm typing. So let me check back in for a second. Hold on. Okay. So someone's market. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the main question. He said, he or she said, so when the market closes for the day, what's the first thing you look at for the setup tomorrow? I'm looking at my same technical indicators. I want to know what's direction. Is it bullish or is it bearish? Is it strong? Should I not trade right off the open as a day trader? Some days my indicators will tell me when like price is so ridiculously tight that you really shouldn't take a trade with not getting the type of volatility. So some days I literally, for the first few hours, I don't have nothing to do. All right, because I've learned higher level skill set. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Most of these so-called educators and gurus can't tell you when not to trade. There are times when it does not make sense to trade because there's not enough volatility to get a trend to actually make any money. So you might as well just wait. Most people don't know. It took me years to figure this stuff out. Right? To be disciplined enough and patient enough to say, let me just relax. When the volume comes, it'll be there. But you can't force the market. You can't force the market to give you money just because you want to make money. I love when people tell me I want to make $1,000 a day. I'm like, you're assuming without even knowing it, you're assuming that the market is going to give you a trade that is going to give you that type of money every day. What if Nasdaq, what if everything for just a week got so tight that nothing was really moving? You can't make no money, but you're going to try. Right? Christopher John said, that's the question I have for options. Options. So it's really, I would say, the same core answer. I want to analyze my technicals and I want to see what is price doing. For me specifically, all right, and this is where my classes come in. I have really specific things that tell me like what to do. All right, so I'm really kind of waiting for the market to give me the pattern that I know can happen, often happens, has a high probability of winning. And then I just want to react once I see that pattern. Right. So, um, some days there's nothing to do. You look at the market, you assess it, you're like, okay, we closed here today. It's not at a critical place to buy or get out. There's nothing to do. Right. Um, and once again, it depends on how well how sharp, distinct your strategy is, and if there's any triggers telling you to do something. All right. So I mentioned that A period moving average. I mentioned that for some matter of fact. Let me give y'all a little. Let me do it like this. Let me do it like this. Hold on. Let me add something to my chart real quick. I'm gonna add a daily high low, and I'm gonna add pivots because I told y'all I want to talk about pivots today. So perfect time to talk about pivots. Oh, let me go back to the. Oh yeah, that'll work. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me make this. Let me make. I want to add a daily high low so y'all can just see the daily high and the low. So my high is always a green line. My daily low is always a red line. Makes sense. Okay. So now we're looking at Friday, but we're looking at it a little bit differently. Right? Price pushed up at the open, right at the open, and perfectly tested the the pre-market, right, happened at 1:30 in the morning, I guess, as Japan was closing before Europe opened, kind of that crossover, right? We got up to like 44.56. Right. So our market was down. We were bearish. The tough part about day trading is the market can flip. Right at 9:30, we could change direction. So just because we were down doesn't mean we're gonna stay down. Right. And then, oh my goodness, how do you recognize when something's a fake? This was a fake out. We pushed up, we got some bulls excited, rip prices right back down. A lot of bulls lost right there at 9:30. Why? Because it shot up so fast. Some people just, they thought everything was about to go up all day. It didn't. Right. So I didn't do nothing at 9:30 because this move up, I already knew it was a high probability it was a fake because everything was already down. All right. So the rest of the day gets a bit easier. But what I want to point out too is we tested a high, we went all the way back to the low. Right. So honestly, if you're a day trader, if I forced you to trade on a 30-minute chart with me on Friday and you didn't know that this was bearish, that even if I put my box, I call this the Noble Woods trade box, right? So this candle right here tested the 20, pushed above, right? It was like it started right above the 8, it closed below, right? If all you knew, right? All you knew, right? And a lot of people can't like visually show you their trades. This is a system I came up with just to like, be able to literally show myself and teach my students like exactly where to get in. Right? Without getting advanced and all, breaking it down to any smaller time frames. If I literally had to trade based on the candles, my candles are my entry. I knew the trend direction was down. All right. So right here, for me, would have been a short. And then price dipped. And this little dip, it don't look that big, but you throw 4-5 contracts on the ES. That's five. That could be easily right here. That's let me see, what was that move? That was 18 down to 13. That's 15, 750 a contract. All right. So that's an easy 750. All right. This move here, you knew where it was going. We had a pivot right here, and we had the low of the day. We had the low of the day right there. That was really it. That was all you could do. Buy low, sell high. You want price to push up. I want it to push up so it could drop. If this was flipped, I would want price to come down and then go back up. Right. But if I'm keeping it super simple, that's my entry. My stop is above that candle. Wait, relax. Do you have a target though? And then does this risk make sense? Well, how much is this? How much am I risking? Because this candle's smaller than this candle. So clearly this trade has more risk than this one. That's where we start to really separate like good traders from elite traders. Right. I risk the same amount every single trade as a day trader. How do I do that? I can't even tell you right now. I literally have to charge you to tell you, right? So I can't really walk through all that right now, right? But as you can see, even showing you those two, like really, really basic. If I'm just trading on a 30-minute chart, just super basic. Where like, I just want price to go up in a downtrend to come back down, and I want to target. I knew we had the low from the previous day. The market's down. I just showed y'all the overall market is down. So even as a day trader, you probably should lean a bit more towards the short trades because you're just aligning with the longer, bigger picture. All right. Let's see. Somebody said, "Will certain countries that stop using the dollar to purchase oil affect the market?" Dang, I wish I had my homeboy. I wish B was on this call. I need to start making him get on these because he's like he trades for us. A good friend of mine, Brandon. He trades on foreign exchange. He's into I know I'll say it this way. He probably understands like monetary policy, quantitative easing. You know, he's deeper in that space than me. Will certain countries that stop using the dollar to purchase oil affect the market? Yes, I think they will. Of course. Um, there's thousands of things that affect the market, depending on which country, depending on right. It's a nuanced question because we'd have to dig more to figure out. Like we have to put some numbers around it. Like, uh, um, we'd have to look at production from that company. I mean, from yeah, literally from that country. Percentage right of the world's oil that they produce. How much of that oil is coming into America? It's this, but generally speaking, yeah, yeah, I would say yeah. Mhm. I would say yes. I would challenge anybody that would say no. Now, maybe you don't. Maybe your no is like it's not going to have a huge effect. It's not going to have the possibility of sending us into a recession. Okay, that's cool. I understand. And that's where like questions like that get really, really technical. You could probably put five really good traders who understand like macroeconomics, who can all give you five different reasons and different varying levels of how much they think it'll impact it. But will it impact it? Yeah, yeah, I definitely think so. Somebody said, I've seen a trend where the new options become available. Oh, I've seen a trend where when new options become available. So for those who are like, what does he or she mean when new options become available? So options you generally can buy weekly contracts. Right. So right now, there's a contract that doesn't exist on a certain stock, and then we'll get into another week, and then they'll open up that date that you can buy contracts for that date in the future. Right. So we kind of roll out new contracts as we go. I've seen a trend where new options become available. They tend to rise 200, 400%, like New Tech's Health. Where can you find information that indicates when new stocks are potential? Um, wait. Oh, when new stocks are potentially becoming available. New stocks? So I thought initially you were talking about new options contracts, like just new contracts coming out. But now it sounds like you're asking about new stocks. So there's tons of information on new stocks and IPOs, new stuff that's coming out. But there are certain rules around how much volatility. There's a couple different things that actually matter in terms of new stocks, how fast you'll be able to trade options on those new stocks. Right. There's some stocks that you can't trade options on because they don't like meet the criteria. So nuanced question. I thought you was talking about just new options. I would say you literally just need to kind of dig in, do some research on that specific stock. Like if I put up Apple right now, we can probably buy Apple calls 2 years out, 3 years out. Some stocks you can only go out 6 months. Right. So you got to know your stock, which is why I preach less is more. You should only be I think it's easier, better. You'll be smarter and more effective and efficient if you really, really, really get to know less. Like if you're an options trader and you're new, trade five. Why you bouncing every day to trade something? Just trade the stuff with the highest volume. The highest volume stocks are the same stocks every day. It's Apple, Tesla, AMD, and like it's the same highest volume, most options contracts bought. It's the same five, six stocks every day. Right. So when people are like, oh man, I'm looking for volume, but you trading. If I looked at your journal, you've been literally your last 30 trades was 25 different stocks. I think you're just making it hard. All right. So There's tons of places I don't want to be facetious when I say this, but Google is your friend. New stocks, there's tons of information on just all the new stocks that are supposed to come out and then IPOs that are actually scheduled to happen. So make sure you just Google, do your research. Okay. So they said look up new text health on your screen, please, and give me a thought. Okay, cool. I'll do that. Matter of fact, let me read these questions real quick. Oh, I only got a few more. Okay. Nutex, NUTX. I've never looked this one up. Let me see what is their ticker. NUTX. So I'm gonna go to the month chart. Oh, okay. So notice what I did. I've never looked at this stock. You are analyzing it with me live on the fly. I love to do this because if you're skilled, you can do this on the fly. I don't need the prep for these sessions, right? Nutex Health. I know nothing about them. As a matter of fact, let me do this real quick. Let me go to Yahoo Finance. Finance. Or you just that's how you pronounce it. I won't make a judgment. I won't even call you bougie. Yahoo Finance. NUTX. Let me read a little bit of quick information. So their market cap is 4.6 billion. Small cap, small company. It's not a big, it's not Facebook. It's not Facebook, Apple, Amazon. It's not one of those, right? So first thing I went to market cap. I want to see how big the stock is. Right. There's no beta. Beta tells you how fast it's fluctuating, price fluctuations compared to the S&P. The S&P is 1. Tesla, for example, is like a 2.0. What does that mean? If the S&P basically every day travels at 100 miles an hour, that's how fast its prices move. Tesla moves 200 miles an hour. That means you better have some skill to trade Tesla. It's faster. It can make you or lose you money a lot faster, right? There's no beta here, no 5-year beta because it hasn't been around for 5 years. So let me go to profile. What the hell do they do? Healthcare company. Health Information Services is the industry. Looks like they are stationed in Houston, Texas. Operates a technology-enabled healthcare services company. Operates 2 divisions: hospital division and population health management division. Hospitals, micro something division owns 21 facilities, 8 states. All right. Okay. So if I was like starting from like perfectly from scratch, then I would look at the financials. Is the company profitable? They got any free cash flows? I love to go to free cash flows because it's just like I think it's like one of the easier fundamental tool or things on like we dig into the numbers. It's one of the easiest to understand. Right? Why? Because at the end of the day, you as a person, do you have any free flowing cash in your life, or is all of your money tied directly to a bill and debt? At the end of the month, how much free cash was circulating in your life? It tells you a lot about your finances, right? It's the same thing with a company, free cash flow, right? Based on the way the company's constructed. How much free cash do they have flowing? They have positive cash flow. That's good. Good. That's a check. I like that. All right. So I don't have time to do some deep fundamental analysis. Right? So we're gonna jump to the chart or jump back to the chart. So it looks like this must have just IPO because we literally only have 1 month. So new stock. If I go here to the day chart, then looks like on day 1 they IPO'd on 4/4. Price opened at 1033, pushed all the way up to 52. Right, and this is the tricky part of like IPOs. Right, it's like there's really not enough. Take this with a grain of salt. This is Noble's perspective. I think investing in a stock at IPO is like that would be like me proposing to a woman on the first date. I don't know really nothing about you. I know what people have said. I could check out your Facebook, look at like your brand, and have a perception of who I believe you to be based on the things I value. I'm valuing you. So I might see on your Facebook, before we actually went on a date. Oh, you love this, or you got an MBA too. Oh, you from Gary? You from the Midwest too? Oh, you love these type of books and all right, okay, cool. So, right, so I'm assessing value before I go on a date. We all do it, but I ain't proposing on date 1. I don't care how amazing the date is. Right. So some people with IPOs, they don't think of it that way. I think all decisions are made the same way. I tend to, with an IPO, I give a stock at least 3-4 quarters a year. That's patience just to see what they do. Now, don't get me wrong. Have I bought IPOs before? Yeah. But generally speaking, the valuations can look amazing and the stock can still crash. All right. So if we're talking about like, dropping 10, 15, 20,000 on an IPO, you really, 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 I would say have to like do your research and know what you're doing. If we're talking about you love the company, you researched it, you mess with them, you a consumer, maybe you work for them, whatever. You got a million reasons, and you're just going to kind of like, dollar cost average. You're going to buy some every month. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Okay, cool. Go ahead, rock out. All right, so this stock opened at 1033, and it ran up 400% the first month. I mean, I'm sorry, the first day. All right, first day, but then the next day we pull back. And the next day we're coming down. The next day, right? So we right back down. Actually, now we went as low as $7.20. I only have a few days. I really can't do too much analysis here, but I'll go to the 4-hour chart. All right, so I'm looking at the 4-hour. I mean, we basically were like bullish one day, the first day. Since then, we've been dropping every day. But it's new. It's new. This might be support. This may be years from now. We may look back and be like, man, 714, around $7 was the lowest it went. Right. At least we know it can get back up to 52. Or at least I'll say it this way. 90% of stocks will retest their all-time high. Right now, this stock's all-time high is 52. So yeah, if they actually are a good company and they can have positive earnings and do all the things investors love, then yes, you got right. Yeah, you got a great opportunity per se, but it's still new. So maybe the valuation was just off. Maybe right, and that's where IPOs get tricky. Right, that's where they get tricky. Just because they said it was worth what was that amount, and the number was different when it was higher. What did I say that the market cap is 4.7 but it's what 7. Let me do the math real quick. Tell you how much value has dropped from this company. So what is that? Wait, what was the highest price? Oh, 52. I'm gonna just say 53. So 53 divided by 8. Right. So that's a multiple of 6.6. So 4.6 billion, just say 5 billion times 6.6. So originally, when we hit that high, this company was worth 33 billion. Now it's only worth 5 billion. And the lower we go, right? So market cap changes as the stock price changes, but even from day one, it was around like a $5 billion stock. Right. So it was valued, let's just say, at about like 5 billion. But that valuation could be totally wrong. Doesn't mean that's the real value, right? So really with time, you start to truly get the perspective of the entire market to see what is the real value. Real value. Day one, you can fool me. You know what I mean? You could be a woman could be the most amazing woman I've ever met on day one. But just time gives you right a cleaner, clearer analysis. More time you spend with somebody, the better you get an idea if this person is really for you, if this stock is for you. Comes with time. Um, so right now, yeah. Oh, so you said give me your thoughts. I really don't have a lot. It's fell from grace real fast. So it seems like a lot of people were super excited about it. Price shot up day one, 400%. If you didn't make some money and get out literally on day one, right now you're losing. I don't know too much about the company. If you believe in it long term, do your due diligence. Make sure you understand why why it's a good company, who the competitors are, if they're profitable, what their plan is to make some profit, to actually compete in this market. Right. I would say if you invest in it, you probably should. Yeah, I mean, I guess with this, you can't use it because you're not a hospital. It looks like this is like B2C, but you know, get as close up to it as possible. And if you really, 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 truly believe in it long term, buy some every month and relax. We start talking options and all that, and it's a different conversation. Because right now the trend is down. So right now I'm like, no, I don't like it. I don't love it. I don't even want to look at it. Right, that's me. Because it's so soon. It's like I have no idea where this stock will be in 6 months. It could be at 2 cents 6 months from now. It could be back up to $55. I have no idea. Right. But the chart is dropping. It's in a bearish trend, but it's only been on the market for less than a month. Right. So I really don't have a ton to say from that perspective. I don't have enough information to analyze. Let's see. Somebody said that's what I'm doing now. I bought ADGI that we discussed on Facebook and CNN, being very patient with it, hitting all-time lows around 150. So even if it drops even if it drops 1,000 in each, I'm okay with it dropping 50% of the total. Oh, if the potential if it can come back up to $15. Yeah. So let me hit those two real quick. ADIG and CNN. So wait, ADI? Is that the right one? ADGI. I'm gonna put this on let me see. I'm gonna go to a month. Okay. So here's the trouble with ADGI for me. Once again, these type of stocks, I know what they scream. I know. And once again, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. This is just I can give you my perspective, what I would do. When I see stocks like this that have fallen from 78 to $3, I think the chance of them going back up, like for me, it's I get the math, right? Because here's the math. Let me draw this little line real quick. A lot of us kind of do this. We look at something, we like, man, it's so low, it's so low. Oh man, if it just if right, if it gets back up, if it gets back up to 78, right, from 350, oh, 9,500, right? Wait, hold on a second. Matter of fact, let me go backwards the other way and see how much it dropped. So how much did it drop from that high? So it dropped about 95%. When I see a stock that has fallen 96%, something is major wrong. That may not be corrected for literally years or never. Right. So I see stocks like this, and I trade based on like probability. Right. So I would say, once again, without knowing a lot, the probability of this going all the way back up to 78, that might be like Obama being able to be the president again. And I know he literally can't be because he served 2 terms. You can't run for 3, right? But that's kind of my point. I would have no faith at all in a stock like this. And once again, I don't know anything about it, so take that with a grain of salt. But just from looking at the chart, it's fallen 96% of its value has disappeared in just a few months. So what happened here? Can they fix it? What was involved? Like, you got to have a lot of faith and some hope for this to work out. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know who asked me the question. I know, but I don't like know you personally, so I don't remember like CNN. This is the other one, right? If I kind of get zoom back out. All right, so these huge spikes. This to me is I think that's a hell of a lot harder than this. I'm gonna go to Apple. Apple. Oh, did I tell you? Wait, hold on. Oh, there we go. All right. So see that? Matter of fact, let me go to Nasdaq real quick. I'll go where I started. This is Nasdaq, right? This is what I want to see: growth, buying, value, innovation, growth. That's all I want to see. If it doesn't look like this, if the stock doesn't, now that's me once again. But I think these types of stocks, you know, it's this requires a lot more skill because these are super volatile. You got to know exactly when to get in and where to get out. Like you have to really be like an elite level trader, I would say, to make money on this consistently. That's why most people really killing it really don't mess with stocks like this. So I'm not trying to talk you out of it, but I am just being real. Like, I think especially the ADGI, I don't know what happened, but 96% drop when the market only pulled back like 15-20%. That's that's a huge red flag. Right. So be careful. And I would say if these don't pan out, do what you want, you might want to start looking at bigger, broad market, stronger companies that just have the value and the charts literally scream it's easier to make money on those. Because these, I remember my little time with like stocks like this too. You do the math and the percentages are like, man, if we can just go from $1.74 back to 15, oh my, like you start doing the math, you start salivating over that, and it can happen. Yeah, it definitely can. But stocks like this, as you can see, the pattern is very sporadic, very sporadic. It's almost really gambling because there's really no pattern. Like it's tough to really find a pattern here to see like a consistent something. It just some news comes out, it shoots up like crazy, then we right back down. All right, so yeah, take that with a grain of salt, but that's what I think. Chaotic, crazy, wild horses. Have fun with those, but don't really put your heart and money into stuff like that. Apple, Tesla, Amazon, 10 years from now, they're still gonna be amazing stocks. This, it'll either have proven itself or we'll look back and be like, yeah, you should have left it alone. It didn't make no money. It never went anywhere. Right. Christopher John said, for newbies like myself, I can see the trade. I can see the trade super clear as the day goes on. But early I sit trying to figure out what the trend is for the day. Okay, so if it's a trend thing, I think you just really have to have that's like a technical skill thing. Um you really should just have like max two indicators, maybe one another something as a check. Even if I had no matter of fact, let me do this real quick. Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna go back here. Excuse me. Yes, I'm gonna go back to the ES. I'm gonna go back to the let's go to a 15-minute chart. I know I did this on a 30-minute initially. All right, so matter of fact, let me show you the 30 first. That says 15. So I was on a 30-minute chart, right? And what did I say? I said the market was down before the open. So here's the thing. Let me take all my stuff off the chart. All right. If I put this on a 5-minute and I went back, all right, and I had to analyze this before the market opened with nothing on the chart. All right, just pure naked chart, price action. All right. First definition I learned of a downtrend, it's a series of lower lows and lower highs. All right, so is price going lower or higher? All these swings, is price going lower? Are we slowly digging lower or higher? Digging lower, right? And these highs, right? Trend line there, kind of bounced in here, never, right? So this first, after this drop, that very first push of buyers trying to get back up, that one little push, we never got back above. All of this in here, we just slowly grind, trying to go up. Not like a fast downtrend. It's not a strong downtrend. But we are making new lows and we're not going higher. So we already were in a downtrend. Right. I don't need any indicators to look at price, purely look at price directly and say that it's in a downtrend. Right. If price is doing this, it's in an uptrend. If it's doing this, regardless of how it looks, if we're making new lows, we're going lower and the highs are getting lower, it's a downtrend. Right. So I would say if you're day trading and you don't clear Christopher talking to you, if you're struggling a little bit with like what is the trend, I think you just need you need to sharpen your skill set. You need the right tools to help make that decision or that analysis super clean, clear, easy. Super like it should take you 3 seconds to know the trend. It really should. Now, if price just happens to be on one of those rare 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of every 15 days that I experience where right at the open prices it's not really trending up or down, we're just kind of in a range, then you just relax. Right. But if you're fundamentally like, is the direction up or down? Then you need a class. Hit me up. You just need the right tools. Right. As a matter of fact, I told somebody this week because I was asking some questions about classes and just price and value. I'm kind of rebranding, trying to really figure out like who do I really want to like help the most? Do I want to do like the wide volume sales, low cost, or do I really want to go more premium, high ticket items, but for the people who really, really, really are going to put the time in, like I did when I started? I'm the type of person who easily would pay $5,000-$10,000 to learn something like this from somebody who can teach it well with all of the tools. Like there's different, it's different markets. As a educator, somebody who runs a business, I got to figure out where, like, who do I want to reach? You know what I mean? Who's like the person that most innately I understand is my target, right? So that's kind of why I was asking that question. But the point with that was I said in my comments, I was like, you're gonna pay for your education. You're either gonna pay somebody like me who you trust to help accelerate your learning curve, or you're just gonna trade every day. And every time you lose, you're learning that way. So you're gonna pay the market to learn, or you're gonna pay somebody that you trust. Don't have to be me. Whoever you trust, cool. Right? This stuff is way too sophisticated. It's way too sophisticated. People just jump into it. I'm not saying just jumped into it, but I've seen that for the last 2 years. People just jump into it. They're like, yo, I got 50,000. I know a lot of people getting into trade. Let me start trading. And then like 2 months later, your 50,000 is at like 15,000. You're like, damn, this wasn't easy. If it was that easy, everybody would actually be making money. A lot of people are trying to do it. They call it the what do they call it? Schwab came out with this new study. They call it the investor generation. If you just started investing in the last 2 years, you're now part of the investor generation. Something clicked, something turned on. You're excited about investing, but you got to build that skill set. You got to learn. Class, community, accountability, mentor. It's the same stuff for all of us. We all had to get the education. All right. So I'm just sharing. Friday was closed for Good Friday. Yeah. Friday was closed for Good Friday. Rende, my cousin Rende. What up, Ren? He said, "Love it, cuz." Appreciate that, man. As always, you know how we get down. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call you after this because I know you called me. When you called me this morning, last night. I know. I'm gonna call you as soon as this over. Somebody said it dropped because they specialize in COVID. Oh, okay. So this is going back to one of those stocks. Probably the new techs. They specialize in COVID treatment. They announced their new vaccine attempt wasn't effective against Omicron, so it plummeted. Ugh, yeah, and see that's the thing with those stocks, right? One initiative, one piece of bad news, one thing that you thought was about to take the stock up to these new levels, just phew. You don't have to worry about that stuff with Apple. There's no one piece of information that's about to drop any of the stocks in Nasdaq. One piece of information is not about to make the stock price plummet off one initiative. But those companies, like their whole life is like, if we can do this one vaccine, oh my God, we could be. And it's like, not effective. Investors like trash. Get out of here. Stock. And then people don't mess with it. And the price comes down really, really hard. Right. So with those smaller, lower cap stocks, newer stocks, a lot more risk for me personally. There's a lot more stuff they haven't proven themselves. That's all it is, right? So be careful with those. ADGI dropped because they specialize in COVID treatment and they stated their new. Oh, that's what I just read. Oh, did I read it? Oh, maybe. Oh, I think maybe it was the same post twice, essentially. Okay, cool. Somebody said good point. Point. Cool. And then Christopher John said, yeah, I don't know why I say people whole name. Christopher said, yeah, I have an account. I'm slowly investing, but I also been trying to play with small money and see if I can multiply. Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, Christopher, don't play with it. Get serious. And by get serious, I mean mentor, course, class, something to give you right the type of skill set and knowledge base to actually stop playing with it. Because I'm gonna be real with you. I don't want to play with no money with the market because it's brutal. It could care less. Now, don't get me wrong. We talking about a couple, just a little $100, 50. I get it, right? So I get it. I'm with you. But if you are thinking about really becoming serious about trading as a potential way to make income, the trades are there all day. There's futures, foreign exchange, and options. Those are the three key leveraged markets. You can make any amount of money you want to make. That's why I call the business limitless. When I first got into this, I realized like there really is no cap to money. If you had the skills and the money, you can literally make $50,000 trading futures every single day. But the skills, knowledge, and money, and then the confidence, the balls to do it, 99.9% of people will never have. Right? Let's bring that down from 50. 5,000 a day. 500 a day is life changing for 99% of the people I know. That's $20,000 a month. What can you not do if you making 20 G's a month like clockwork? And then let's be real. I'm talking to an audience that's mostly African American, mostly black folks, black African American, whatever you want to call yourself. I think both have some validity. Whatever. Only like 5% of black people in this country make six figures. That's super small. I know you think everybody on IG. There's a very, very small percentage of us making six figures a year. Right. So what's really life changing is not, most people don't need to be just 1,000 a month would literally just change most lives. Right. But the skills, the discipline takes a lot. Matter of fact, let me hop over to a couple of quick quotes. Let me listen. I think this is like it's like sports. That's all. Trading is like sports. It's a perfect metaphor. Everybody loves basketball or baseball or football or track or something. Everybody loves sports. Everybody loves money. Right? Who does it? Let me take that back. Because I heard some of the overly religious Christians saying, no, I don't love money. I love money can do, right? Isn't this the love of money? That's the evil. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. I grew up in church too. It's not so we don't love money. We love what money can do for us. We love being able to provide for ourselves and our family. True. True. But the approach to sports is the same with this. There's very few people that'll get to the NBA. There's very few NBA players that'll get to the Olympics. And you could take 1,000,000 little kids right now, 5th, 6th grade. What do you love? You love basketball. Most of them aren't gonna have the discipline, skill set, and focus to ever get to the NBA. It's the same with trading. Investor generation, trader generation, millions of people just start trading. Most of them won't be trading a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. It's only for those who truly approach it the right way. Relentless, winning attitude. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to sacrifice. I'll get this knowledge. I'm getting it not to make money, but to do something for my family, to have the freedom, the time, right? To compress time. You can't save $1,000,000. I don't care how long you work. You can't save $1,000,000. You got to invest. I think every person I know, every adult in America should learn how to trade options. I do. I think that should be a basic minimum. If I was the president, that'd be like a mandatory. I would make every single adult spending money in this economy learn how to trade options. And I don't mean day trading. Even if you bought Apple and gave the contract 6 months, a year, leaps. You going just a year out on some of the best stocks in the world at times where the VIX is spiking enough to be like, yeah, I can trust it. Okay, do that. Let's listen to Kobe real quick.
It's in the moment. So you have to live it. And when you practice those things, you become better at it.
When you practice those things, you become better at it. A lot of people not practicing enough. With Thinkorswim, you can actually practice. You can practice. There's some people right now, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Old Noble on a weekend like this, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would literally spend 6, 7 hours on Thinkorswim in the little replay mode, going back in time and day trading real days that I already know what's gonna happen, just to practice. To practice. There's a reason I'm here. Some of y'all won't practice. Some of us won't practice. I tell people all the time. Actually, I don't tell them all the time, but I need to start saying this more. There was 3 little metrics I read when I first started trading before you go live. Before you go live with whatever, here's what you do. You paper trade first. If you can't double an account twice, you're not ready. If you can't take like 100 consistent trades for the same reason and win most of those, at least 50, you're not ready. If you won't do it for 6 to 9, like, so it's either a metric of time, of doubling an account multiple times, or of just consistent wins. If you can't do it on paper, you can't do it with real money. What we trading real money for? Now, if it's a very small amount, because I get it. Some people have to have like the real skin in the game to create that emotion. True. But you still got to learn. You are not going to be a great anything in this game without a coach, without some in-depth training, without some patience, without some discipline, without some perseverance. 95% of day traders don't make no money. But they be out here like this.
But I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
You out here like Mike Tyson. We be out here like Tyson swinging. Swinging at everything. Everything that move, we taking a hit. We swinging at everything. I love Tyson. He got it right. Tyson said this too.
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
He said his defenses are impregnable. What's your defenses as a trader? That's a good question. What are a trader's defenses? I'm gonna let y'all think on that for a second. I'm gonna answer it. Bridget said thoughts on SoFi. I think that's how you say that. Wi-Fi, SoFi. And crypto for long-term investing. I'm gonna come back to that one. Have to try to replay. Oh, Crystal. Yeah, there's a replay. You could do. Let me see. Just I just found out I could set up paper trading with live data. I have to wait till Monday. Oh yeah. Dope. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to Bridget real quick. I'm gonna answer my question. What's the defense? You got to have good defense. My favorite basketball player, I grew up in 45 minutes away from Chicago. You already know who it is. It's Jordan.
I'd do anything to win. I'd do anything to win.
Jordan would do anything to win. Not like illegal steroids, like not anything in that sense. Anything to win, meaning whatever he had to sacrifice, however he had to practice. He was one of the first professional MBA players who hired a personal trainer. Even with all the stuff that comes with being an NBA, he was like, no, I need a personal trainer. I'm trying to be the best. It was unheard of when Jordan got a personal trainer, to have a personal trainer, because he was already a high-level athlete, but he wanted to be better. He would do anything to get 1% better, 2% better, anything. Same with Kobe, right? Same with Kobe, right? But you got to have offense and defense. I think the defense for traders is part of it in a technical skill set is like risk to reward. Every trade I take, how much am I risking and what is my intended reward? If you don't know that on every trade, you have no defense. That's like boxing and you matter of fact, that's like boxing and you here. You think you got like these amazing hands, but your face is totally open. You can't box like this. That's day one. The first thing they teach you with boxing is like up here, protect your face. All right. So if you don't know how much you're risking, or I say it a different way, on the chart, you don't know if price gets to this place, I'll exit my trade because clearly I'm just wrong. All right. So let me pop that on real quick. Let me go back to this. Hold on. Let me go to a 15-minute chart. Go to a 15-minute. Let me clean this up. Clean that up. 15-minute chart. All right. If I go to my 15 and I'm like, where was like, okay, right here off the open, we got the reversal. Ooh, we push down right in here. Looks like somewhere right in here. If I go to the 30-minute, it's the same candle, right? So fundamentally, this little swing high, it's the same whether I'm looking at a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 30-minute, right? So somewhere in here, you should have been short. Somewhere in here, depending on who you are, how you trade. But here's the thing. If price reversed and came back up here to this area, that's the smartest place to get out. Right? So, and depending on how close, right, your entry is to this level, that's going to depend on, like, that's going to stipulate how much we risked. Right? If you bought down here, okay, well, then your risk is literally the size of this box. If you're a little way more technically savvy, you like me, you know how to dig in on a 30-minute, you can go down to the 1 minute I could have caught an entry that my risk would have only been this big. Right? Skill, years of skill and practice. Years of skill and practice, though, to even like teach this live and just navigate little stuff like that, and be able to, if I had the time, to show you how you can based on the time frame changes your risk. And everybody wants to be these super fast, amazing day traders, but it's like it's literally like trying to be a all-star MBA player from day one. Right? Somebody said knowing when to get out. Yep. And think about that. When price goes to a critical area where if we keep going this way, we're probably not coming back. Right? That's really that little box I drew. If price got above that box, we could potentially have went all the way back to the highs, made new highs, and kept going. You've lost the whole day because you didn't have any risk. You didn't know where the risk was. You didn't understand this stuff well enough to say, this is my stop loss. This is where I know if price gets above this, I'm probably going in just the wrong direction. We've just reversed. We got more volatility going that way. So I don't want to be short if we get above that box. That's where you get out. And if you're really advanced, if you really, right, you get into the craft of this, then you already know how much you were trying to make. You know your risk. You got some rules around the trade. Right. You even at the end of the day, you knew where it was going. Because all we did was come down here to the low. All right. So from the moment this price hit this high and reversed, I was already like, oh, we might get back to the low. Already from here, from 9:30, I knew what was highly possible to happen by 4, because that's all price action is. We break highs and lows. We try to hit a high. Oh, we can't break it. We slowly come down. We had a downtrend all day. It's like, where else could it go but back to the low? Right. Let me do this one other thing real quick for y'all. This will be fun. Check this out. This will be fun. Peep this. The day before, if I put a box from this high to this low, that was the range for Thursday, right? Thursday went from a high of 44.50. It went down to 44, just say 40, right? So, 43, let's 43.86 up to 44.50. However many points that is. I can't even do math right now, right? But that's the average for that day. All right, the day before, a little bit longer. But check out Friday. It pretty much was the exact same range. All right, so that's another real simple, all right, just literally putting a box over the day saying, man, what was the range for you? Like, how much did price move yesterday? It, generally speaking, pushes around the same every day. Tools like the ATR, I know a lot of people love. I don't love because it's too long. It measures like 14 days. I don't give a damn about the last 14 days. I care about the last 3 or 4. This market, stuff changes too fast. 2-3 weeks ago on the ES, the average daily range was like 100 points. How do I know that? Because I trade it every day, because I track it every day. This last 2 weeks, it's been about like, it's been like really like 80. Days like this, it won't even go 80. Right. So once again, you can see if I just started to talk about, look at this day, same range. So when we made this low and started pushing up, if you just knew the range, you could say, well, it should at least get up here just based on, and I'm pretty sure there's a pivot up there. Oh, let me put the pivot. Look at that pivot right there. It's a little purple, little red dots, pivot right up there, right up there. Look at that. Y'all see that pivot right there. And then look at this. We bounced off the low. Price is really just doing the same stuff. Same stuff, it's like made a new high. We couldn't break it. We going up, we going down. All right. I had a question. SoFi. Let me go here. A lot of people been asking about this one. Let me clean this chart up. Okay, so looks like somebody asked me about this previously. It's in a downtrend. It crossed over the 20 period moving average and started to create started to go under the average, right? This is like a student whose grades this if this was a student every single week I gave you a quiz. This is where your average started to go under like the class average. Something happened. I could just tell right in here, you're not studying. You under the average. All right. And you're trying to study and do a little something, but you ain't trying that hard. Prices, all right. Price keeps making a little attempt to go up, coming right back down, push up, right back down, push up, right back down, push up, right back down. So right now, firmly in a downtrend. Let me go to the month for a second. Yeah, and this is one of those too. It's new stock really doesn't have any support. Why? Because even if I went here to the very first month of IPO, the support was back here. We're now under that initial line in the sand value, right? $10 ran up to 30. Okay. Kind of inside of this big candle, and then we bouncing off this 10. We closed under, and now we're going down. We literally could go to 0. We could go down to $1. We could go down to 5. We could go down to 3. We go down to 2. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we continue to go lower, because that right now, temporarily, and I'm on a month chart, so really I could say the long-term direction right now in this moment is down. It's probably gonna just keep going down until something major slowly changes trend direction. Now, once again, if we talking investing and you believe in it for the long term, wild out. Buy some every month, relax, wait. And in 10 years from now, we'll know if this was a good investment. But it's going to take 5 to 10 years to really be able to say that. All right. Matter of fact, let me show y'all Ford real quick. Look at Ford on a month chart. All right. Look at this. Look at this real quick. This is why I'm real big on just this 20 period moving average, right? Because of this. Right here, look at this. This month right here is when Ford went under the average. This was all the way back in August of 2014. And look at this. Right. We turned into this was like a 5-year downtrend. All we did was go lower, run up to the 20. Right here, got a little bounce. Oh, tried to get above it, came right back down. Right back down, back up to the 20. Right back down. All right, this was Ford for 5 years. All right, so this is my worry when I look at those stocks that haven't proven themselves. They're IPO new. They just they already fallen. My worry is that you'll be in a stock like this for 5 years. It's struggling. It's not making you any money. And because price was so low, or because you had so much hope, you just really didn't give it enough patience. You didn't have the patience to just kind of evaluate and see, okay, what's the trend? The trend is down. Every indicator you literally would put on this, I don't care who you are, during this 5 years, the trend was down. And then what happened right here, where we broke this trend line? We got above the 20. Oh, something happened right here. And something pretty good happened. So now we're above the 20. We're above the average. Got more volume, right? We're bouncing off this 8. We're still above the 20. Right? So Ford ain't done. Right? It's just everything's taking a hit, But that's mine once again. So that's my concern, when I look at those stocks that I and you don't have years of information to really lean into, right? And we really don't have years of business performance to lean into. That's really what I'm saying, right? We don't have years of the business performing to say that it's a good business. IPOs are hope. People might not want to admit it. It's hope. You hope they continue to do what they say. You really don't know. And there's no price chart. We don't have no price action to even try to even judge or make any assessments because it's brand new. And all the stocks I looked at today that were not the Apples, the big, right, the ADGI, the CNN, the SoFi, all of these new stocks right now, they're getting beat up. Nobody's making any money. But if the market by the end of this year is back up, I don't know if those stocks will be. I know Apple, Tesla, and the 100 stocks in Nasdaq where I started. I know most of those will be up because they are the broad market base right? They're the baseline for the whole market anyway. So, let me play this. This is Tim Grover. I love this guy. This is he was a trainer for Michael Jordan and for Kobe. He wrote Winning, which is an amazing book. If you're a trader or getting into trading, you should read it. He also wrote Relentless, amazing book. Here's what he had to say about winning. What is winning? The process of winning, the journey. What does it mean? Because that's what we all want to do. We want to win, but what does it intimately up close look like? This is what he said.
Winning is not about the trophy and the accolades. It's about the grind. It's about the obstacles. It's about the challenges. It's about the pain that you endure along the way for that 30 seconds of being able to either stand on the platform, be acknowledged by individuals that are close to you. But when that happens, your mind has to immediately shift back because now you felt and tasted something that you could only get through winning. Are you willing to do it again?
Ooh, that's heavy. That's heavy. It's heavy, but that's so true. Even in sports, I said sports are the perfect metaphor. Are you willing to go through all that it took to win? Because one winning trade does not make you a good trader. It just means you won one trade. Can you do it again? Then again, then again. If you think about right now, NBA playoffs start today, I believe. Y'all see that game last night with Atlanta? Come on, man. Cavs were up first. They were hitting all their shots first. And then they slowly weren't. And then Trey started to light up in the third and fourth quarter. Even though he was dead, he only had 6 points the first half. Whack trader first half, but he stayed consistent. He stayed applying what he knew to do. He stayed consistent with a system. All the boy really do is he get inside, he hit you with these little floaters, and he got that real far, that like 40 foot out 3-pointer. Little step back. Or he'll just do it and he do his little shake. He got the same play. Jordan had this. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jordan, but Jordan's fadeaway, that was his bread and butter. What's your bread and butter as a trader? What's the play that every single time you're gonna take it, you're gonna shoot that shot? You ain't gonna flinch. And even if you have a bad first quarter, you still gonna win the game in the third and the fourth. Sports is such a good metaphor because it's highly competitive. But with this, you're competing against you. You're not competing really against me. You're not competing against the market. You're competing against you. That's what makes it tough. No other thing in life forces you, I would almost say forces you to really face yourself the way trading does. Right? Everything else in life is team-based and matrices, and you're an engineer. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's definitely jobs that are if you're a rocket scientist, if you're any sort of scientist, engineer, yeah, I know you're doing, but there's entire teams. When you sit down and trade, it's just you. It's just you. It's a lonely craft on some level. Now, don't get me wrong, there's communities, and I get it, right? But even when you push the button to get in and take that trade, it's just you. Did you follow your plan, your strategy? Do you know when you should get out? Do you take profit when you should? Are you taking the same entries for the same reason? If maybe you got 2-3 different trades, maybe you got a counter trending trade. Okay, cool. Have you defined exactly when you'll take those counter trending trades that are rare, but that win a lot? But what tells you to take them? Or maybe you shouldn't take them at all. Because why are we worried about stuff that's rare? Why I'm worried about throwing a 50-footer from half court? That's a rare shot. Yeah, somebody hits it. Steph Curry could probably hit it, but why would he do that? Like you don't even have to take that shot unless you forced to, because you only got 3 seconds left in the game. All right, so, I love this board, man. I really do. I got some Martin sounds up in here. I'll be trying to figure out a way to play, a reason to play. I'll go back to defense for the last second. I'll end here. Defense is key. The risk to reward is key. I mean, it's all important, but I really feel like, the offense is you being able to assess the charts, have the confidence to take the trade. The defense is like the risk. Right? Because if you don't have any defense, you'll win, and one loss will clear all of your profits out. And I know people who, are experiencing that right now. I haven't been doing a lot of consoles this year. I did a lot last year. I did so many last year. I didn't want to do any this year, honestly. But I kept seeing the same. Everybody's making the same mistakes. Everybody's doing the same stuff. Right? You win 3-4 times in a row, and then one big loss. All your profits from those 3 or 4 gone. That's a risk to reward issue. Right? That's you haven't learned that this is just basic math issue. Right? Let's say I'm risking, let's say as a day trader, let's keep it simple. Let's say 1-to-1. I risk 1,000 to make 1,000. If you figured out how to risk 1,000 to make 3,000, you instantly have a easier life than me. Because if I take 10 trades and I lose 5, but I win 5, I lost 5,000, I made 5,000. I'm at 0. And with commissions, I'm actually down. If your risk to reward is 3-to-1, every trade you take, you make 3. Every time you lose, right? So you lose 5, you're down 5,000. But you won 5, you made 15. Subtract out the 5, you still made $10,000. And you're really not that great of a trader. Your win ratio is only 50%, but you still are eating, right? This is just math. It's just math. Too many of us don't get into the math behind it. And really just play out scenarios to say, what if I win my next 3 trades? Then what if I lose the next 5? Right?
You see, look, you gave me too much money back, Roscoe.
That's what y'all do to the market. Give it too much money.
Yes. Hey, go to school. Learn your math because you can't be a millionaire if you can't count to 10.
You're right. I go to school.
Oh man, I'm gonna end there with Martin, man. That's is that Roscoe? Yeah, that's Roscoe. You right. When all that snot coming out his nose, you right. Gina said it, man. She's like, you can't be a millionaire if you can't count. So, hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for kicking it with me for a minute. If you need some one-on-one help, reach out directly. DM me. I'm personable. I'm actually wrapping up next week or so a futures class, live futures class, live options class. I can teach anything. I should do a foreign exchange class to help some foreign exchange. I just don't trade foreign exchange. So I'm really big on not trying to teach stuff that I don't trade. There's people out here who teaching stuff and selling classes. They don't even trade the stuff. Always talking about futures. They don't never trade futures. Always talking about foreign exchange. Don't even trade foreign exchange. Got these options classes. Really just 2 seconds ago learned something about options. And all they doing is telling you to buy a year out because they don't even know what they doing. It's a dirty game. It's such a dirty game. This like the new drug money. Just throw together an investing class. All you got to do is have a couple receipts. People think you know what you're doing. People think you know what you're doing because you've posted a few times that you've made money. People think literally 2-3 posts think you can teach them how to do what literally is very sophisticated and complex. And most people can't even really teach. Anyway, man, I love beating up on the industry because I've been here for like 10, 12 years. I started Limitless. I started teaching kids, middle school kids in 2012. No, it's 2012. Dang, it's been that long. Hey, I officially launched the class 2014. Yeah, but I worked with kids like a year and a half, 2 years before. Wow, that's crazy. So I started working with kids about 10 years ago. Memorizing stocks in the Dow Jones. What's KO? What's AXP? American Express, Coca-Cola. Like, you should know that. And that was the stuff I just did with kids just to get their minds open. Little memorization games. Let's memorize all 30 stocks. They used to love this stuff, but they knew more stocks than their parents. Then I added in some charting, we be talking about McDonald's and Popeyes. Okay, what's the average price for a Happy Meal? So that's a support price. What if you went to McDonald's and they raised the prices? Where's support? Support's the price that you know, generally speaking, is usually they like three. I don't even know what Happy Meals are no more because I ain't got no kids. So I don't even know. I'm sure it's ridiculous though. Anyway, man, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Continue to watch these. Share this with somebody that you know and that you love, who needs to start really digging into the markets, getting serious about their money, right? And who needs to learn from somebody with some integrity who can, be honest about the challenges, but also really give you a great picture, I think, of how life-changing this is. This thing has changed my life. I don't tell my story every time. I say it super fast, man. My dad passed away. Left me and my half sister some money. That was my first account. If my dad did not have that money, life insurance, if he hadn't left that gift, that legacy gift, which is a whole nother point I'm trying to hit on I ain't trying to make this about insurance, but hopefully you'll get what I'm saying. I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for him. Right. And what do we do? What happens when we put our money into these life insurance policies? There's somebody somewhere taking all that, they're trading that money. They're growing that money. They're growing that money in the markets, man. One of the most amazing inventions ever in human history is the stock market, crypto market, futures market, options market, foreign exchange market. Limitlessclass.com if you want to check out the courses. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Go to my channel, subscribe. It's Being Noble. So I appreciate you guys for checking me out today. And that's about it. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.